Continue the another way of accessing the list elements with its name. So we have two forms or methods in order to access the list components in R. Already we have seen with the help of index value, we accessed the elements and we displayed it in the previous example. Now let me continue this by accessing it with its name. So the same set we created earlier for the employee, which consists of the employee ID, the name of the employees and the number of employee there. And this what we created with the help of the list function. We created a EMP list as a one of the list. And now we are going to access the name of all the employee as we did earlier, but with the help of a name. So how to use this? In order to access the components with the name, we need to use a dollar symbol along with or continuing the name of the element. So in this case, I need the name of all the employees. So what I did is, you can see in the list method, we have ID, names and total staff. So these are the name we mentioned here. With the help of these parameters in front of this along with the dollar symbol, we can access the value. So if I need a name, what is the name here? It is mentioned as names equal to EMP name. So dollar symbol, and before that we need to mention the name of the list. The name of the list what we created here is a EMP list. So how to access this? Simply we accessed it and printed it with the help of the print function. So you see here the last line, it is print of EMP list dollar names. So this dollar always refers the component's name in the list, and the name of the list is EMP list. So by putting like this EMP list dollar names, we are accessing the component name is names from the list EMP list. So you see the output where we displayed the complete list element. So it show the ID, then it show the complete name list and along with the total number of stock. This what we created the list. And in the second last line, this is outcome of the last print statement where it fetched the names alone, and alternatively either with this name or with the index. So when you see the index value, it is 2. So that's what we can access the elements of the list. Now the next interesting topic is doing some manipulation with the list components, like we can modify the data by adding some details or the elements into the list, or by deleting the list, and all such thing we are going to see in this video. Now let me start again from creating a list, just in order to refresh the concept again. For the same set of employee, so we have a employee IDs which are nothing but 1, 2, 3, 4 created using a vector. So it mentioned inside the C function, where C function helps us to create a vector. And the difference between the vector and the list is, vector can store a similar data, but the list can store a different types of data types. Again we have one more vectors which is EMP name, where these are the name of the employee and the number of employees 4, and all this we created as the named list, and we have given a name for employee ID as ID and the employee name as names and the total number of employee as a total staff. So these are the structure of the created list. Now in this list we are going to do some modification, where we are going to modify the structure of this list by adding one more detail of an employee. Let me consider this as one of the scenario where if new employee joins in the company, we have to update the details of the employee. In such a case, we need to add their complete details such as their ID, name, and the total count of employee will also be increasing. So let me see how to do it. You can see we just printed the actual details existing before adding the employee. So in such a case, you can see just we printed the employee list by print emp list. So what it will do, it will completely print whatever there we created inside this list function. So we got the respective output like you can see here. Before modifying the list, the id, all the name and the total staff is 4. This what initially we created. Now you see here we have added one more staff. So what will happen is this total staff number will be increasing. So just we mention the name of the list as EMP list and then dollar symbol, then the name of the field, that is the name of the particular component of the list, which is nothing but total staff. So just we updated this from 4 to 5 because we are going to add one more employee in this particular list. So simply by incrementing the count, we can not justify that these are the employee details. We have to add their respective other data also. In such a case, we need to add the new employee's ID as well as the name. So how to do is, you can go the easy method with the help of index value. Now you see the first is the employee ID where its index is 1. So you can see here we mention 1 and you can see this is for which count of employee, the 5th employee. So it will be count the number of values here and after this 4 in the 5th position it will be adding. So this EMP list of 1 5 equal to 5 means this 5 is the employee ID of the new employee which is added as a next element after 4. Likewise, we added the name. The 5th employee name is Kamala. So we added that also. And in order to justify or whether it added completely or not, in order to view it, we can have a print statement. So when you print the same EMP list, you can see here we have additional data also where here we are having the 5 details of an employee rather than 4. In such a way, we can modify the list components by adding elements to the list. And this is another interesting case where we can add item to the list based on its position with the built-in functions. So where we can add at the end of the list by using one of the built-in function called append. So this append is helpful for us to add elements into the created list, but its position is at the end of the list. We cannot add in between or at the mid. It will be adding the list as a continuation of the existing list at the end position. So how to do this? Just we created a list where the list, let me have a simple example for this. Rather than getting into with the employee details, just we taken a simple example here. We created a list where the list is having two components. One is Java, another one is Python. Now I want to add one more programming language called R, where R can be added at the end of the list. So the sequence become as Java, Python and R. And how to create this? We have a list Java and Python created using the list built-in function, and we printed the list and you can append it with the help of this append function, and this appended list is the new list. We create a one more list from the existing created list li. So li2 consists of the original list which have Java and Python as its list component, and along with this we added a R program. So the parameters for this append function is, you have to mention the collection of data, that is the initial value, and at its end position what to be added. So what to be added is nothing but R programming. So just simply we mention it as R. And when you try to print out this, just in order to get the display, when you print this li2, you will be getting the output as Java, Python and R. This is another case where you can add the elements into the list at the specific place where we want. And for this, what we can do is, as like the early example, you create a list and mention what you want to add, again with the same append function, but in addition, we can mention the position where we want. So just remind the previous example where we created a sequence of programming languages initially as Java and Python. Later with the append function, we just added R programming also. Now, instead of adding R programming at the end of the list, now I want it in the mid of the thing, like the output what we got here. You can see as example, I need Java, R programming, then Python. So what I can mention here is the same logic, same append function, but in addition to the existing parameter, that is list along with the new data to be added, we can mention where we want. Here in this case, I mentioned here as after equal to 1. It means after the first index value 1. Nothing but I need this in the index value position 2. So automatically what will happen? It sees which is the first index, Java. So next to it, this R will be added.